I welcome you to Thursday's class. Last video got cut off. I'm not sure about the microphones on these cameras. They seem okay. It's not totally harsh, but it is. It's a little echoey in here. I understand that. I guess that's what I would change if I could change the sound. Last class was finished with penetration pricing. The goal of penetration pricing is to gain market share, and that means that you're really in a mass market. You're not really, like I said before, you can have an introductory price as a promotion, and that's a little bit different from a penetration pricing strategy. An introductory price means that the customer will recognize that the price will go up in the future. And in that sense, it's sometimes companies will offer a different strategy. For example, this is a mix of promotion and price. But imagine you're a customer of a donut shop, and you go, it's a brand new shop, just open, and the price of the donuts that they want to sell is going to be $20,000. That's the price that the company would like to sell the donuts for. So you have two choices. You could set an introductory price that would be lower, say 15, and then people would come and try your donuts, and then after maybe a month, you would put the actual price up to 20. How would those consumers feel? They would feel that they, on the outside, or from their calculations in the front of their brain, they would think, oh, well, the price went up and the price is higher, and they would have to reevaluate the value of that donut versus the new price. But on a subconscious level, they would be feeling that they already had a sense of the value. They already had internalized this 15,000 price, and it's part of their understanding of your business. So it's not really about the 5,000 that's coming out of your pocket. It's more about the change of the valuation inside that is affecting your thinking about buying the donuts. So what some companies would do is they would say, okay, normally the price would be 20,000, so we'll give you a 6-pack of donuts for the price of 5. So now you know that the price is 100,000 and you get 6 donuts, you feel good, you got a 15% benefit from that, maybe 20%. And you also have internalized, and you know and you understand the real price is 20,000. So there won't be any change in the future, and you'll be able to make a fair value for what you expect the next time you come to the shop. So you'll be happy to get the discount or the bonus donut, but you'll also know what the real price is. So introductory prices are a bit, they can mess with the customer's understanding of the value of the product. With penetration pricing, usually the customer knows that this is something that a company is doing to get you to try something, and it could last for a while, or it could last, usually the customer will recognize what the competition is and have an understanding that they're going to go up and eventually meet the price point of their competition. So you have to be careful about your customer's psychology and what they think about the value of the product. Okay, I'm in the book and I'm on page 57. I'm going back from page 58 because penetration pricing is on 58 and skim pricing is on 57. What is skim pricing? Skim pricing is something that you can only do in a niche market. So it might be possible, unlike penetration pricing, it may be possible for you to use skim pricing. However, skim pricing does depend on the psychology again of the customer. The customer usually is willing to pay extra money to have something that other people cannot have, or to get an early taste of something. So if a movie or a cinema has a preview of a very popular movie and you get to be the first one to go see it, you'll pay extra for that. If you can get the new iPhone before other people around you in your country can get it, let's say it's released in the US but it's not released in Vietnam, then you'll be the first one in your block to get it, you'll pay extra, you'll be happy to pay extra. Let's say that there's a new gaming system or virtual reality gaming system that's amazing, it's the first one of its kind. I want to be the first one to use it, I'll pay more. So there's a whole group of customers who are willing to pay a higher price to get something that's special, different, or new. And that's skim pricing, so that's what it's called, the strategy of skim pricing. So I'll read it. A high price is set because customers are happy to pay more. Generally, this can occur when a new product is launched because consumers who are, you have to highlight this, early adopters. That's what those people who want to try new things. They're called early adopters of new products or new technology, are unconcerned about paying a premium price in order to get hold of that product first. This is a strategy for a niche market, typically new niche markets. The business can build a particular image for the product if it's able to demand a relatively higher price. So, you know, the advertisement will make you look like, hey, I'm cool, I'm the first one. And this may flow on to be able to afford particular promotional methods. The new iPod comes out, you're the first one to get it. They were quite expensive at the beginning. The business can segment itself into a particular section of the market. It is likely that as other competitors enter the market, prices will fall, and the business might move on to other products, or to further distinguish products through changes and upgrades. So that's obviously going to happen, right? So if you're the first one that has like one of those round, circular, 3D televisions, then you win for a while. You get all that skim pricing profit. But eventually the other companies are going to come in and offer something similar, and you will have to bring your price into line with the competition. So skim pricing is something that happens temporarily, typically, but what companies have tried to do, and that you probably experienced in your time as a consumer, is that these companies, what they do is they upgrade, right? They constantly go iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and the whole point of it is to keep skimming some profit from those people who want to be the first one to have the new phone. That's you have a new phone, so, excuse me. So companies use this strategy temporarily with one model of their products, but they upgrade and they change it and they keep doing it. So even with Kit Kats, I noticed when they had the green tea Kit Kats, they charged an extra price for them because you could be a person who tried the new green tea Kit Kats. Maybe you were eating Kit Kats for 10 years and all of a sudden there's a green tea one. The price is a little higher, but I want to try it. I want to be one of the people who knows about this. So even in this case, and it had Japanese lettering on it or something, it looked like it was imported. I want those imported Kit Kats. So in this case, you can use it as, that's a niche, that's a smaller, you know, that's, I mean, a Kit Kat is a mass market thing, but like an imported green tea Kit Kat, that's a niche. We can skim off that price. So, quick video about skim pricing. It's only 3 minutes.
Let's take a look at another method of pricing a product or service. This one's known as price skimming. Why is it that there are some products that when they appear on the market, they appear to be charged at a particularly high price that almost dissuades the mass of the market from buying it, yet there's a queue of people wanting to get their hands on the latest thing? Well, that's because of the strategy called price skimming, where the objective is to set a high price to maximize the profit when a new product is launched into the market for the first time. You can do this if you're able to segment your market, in particular based around their behavioural and income segmentation bases. Consumers who are prepared to pay almost any price to be the first to buy the product or service. If you can reach them, and you've got a product they're prepared to buy, then you can skim off the revenues and profits from them first before perhaps almost certainly lowering the price to attract a wider audience of potential customers. And the objective of price skimming is to do just that, to skim off the first waves of revenue from those prepared to pay the price for it. And therefore, price skimming tends to work best where you've got a product or service that creates excitement and demand amongst what's known as early adopters, those who want to be the first to be the owner of the new shiny piece of technology. And therefore, electronic items, technology, and related sectors provide us with some great examples of price skimming in action. And Apple, of course, is widely seen as being perhaps the most common, best known use of a business, example of a business that uses price skimming when it launches brand new products. What market conditions do need to exist for price skimming to work? Well, it's not going to work in every situation. That's the key evaluation point for price skimming. In order for it to have the best chance of success, this needs to be a product that has a high quality and a well-established brand image, that people are prepared to pay for both the quality and the brand in order for the price. Maybe you can create some scarcity around the product to encourage early adopters to pay an even higher price. But of course you need to find enough of them to pay the price to justify the cost. And also you need to be able to, if you can, deter competitors from immediately entering the market with a similar product and undercutting based on a much lower price. So there needs to be something differentiated about that product on which you're trying to skim the profits. There we go, that's a brief introduction to the tactic known as price skimming.
So, yes, price skimming. God, I'm so tired of advertising. Okay, so I think that's fairly easy to understand. Let's look at the example here, see if it's good. A business selling a high-quality graphics projector with high-performance features can use skim pricing until competitors commence moving into the market. The business will then need to continue to develop the projector with new features, performance abilities in order to keep its niche and to keep its strategy. So if they have a long-term skim pricing strategy, they have to keep upgrading the product. Okay, so then we go to a couple of the other styles of pricing. So we pretty much have the main pricing strategies. We know we cannot use penetration because it's for a mass market. Skim pricing might be relevant for some of you. Most of you will do competitor pricing because you're trying to position yourself in the market compared to your competitors, right? If your price is totally different from your competitors, then the customer perception of you is totally different. So you know, if you're competing with the coffee house and then your coffee is $80,000 and their coffee is $50,000 for the basic coffee, then people will not see you as a competitor of Coffee House. They will see you as different. Okay, so then we're at our syllabus. So, penetration pricing, skim pricing. We'll go over the other two in the book. I'm back to page 58. Page 58. Psychological pricing. Psychological pricing is, it's part of it is, similar to competitor pricing in the sense that you're trying to establish some kind of idea in the customer's head about what level you are and what quality you're offering in the market. But there's another kind of psychological pricing where they finish numbers. If you look at prices in the US or even in Vietnam sometimes, they finish with a 99 instead of a 0. Is this, do they really feel that that's something that's gonna work? I mean, this kind of thing, right? Instead of $1,000, it looks like 999. It's under $1,000. So just by not putting those extra zeros there, theoretically, people feel more inclined to buy. The small $1 difference has a big effect on how much they want to buy. Now, if you have the system like the US, where the taxes are not included, you always pay more than the 99 anyway. So I never really feel happy, it's not something that would make you happy. Maybe in Australia, where you have to include the tax into the final price, it'll make you feel happier. Does Vietnam use this strategy? Maybe sometimes. Psychological pricing is designed to have, let's see, we'll just use this one. Psychological pricing is designed to have a positive psychological impact. For example, selling a product at $3.95 instead of $4. There are certain price points where people are willing to buy a product. If the price of a product is $100 and the company prices it at $99, then it's called psychological pricing. In most of the consumer's minds, $99 is psychologically less than $100. A minor distinction in pricing can make a big difference in sales. The company that succeeds in finding psychological pricing points might be able to get some increase in revenue. So it's a very simple concept. It's not very complicated. Now, when I look at that other example here that's offered, I think that this one, the higher the number, somehow the more effective, because it's it's 5,000. This one still, feels, less somehow, 4,999, 5,000, it almost feels like 1,000 less. So I think that same thing would apply if you were going to sell something for $999,990. Would feel like cheaper than $1 million, but it's only $1 cheaper, but it would look a lot better. Plus, 9 is a lucky number, so maybe there's something to that too. Maybe psychology has to do with the sonnet. People love the sonnet. So that's psychological pricing. Then we have premium or prestige pricing. That kind of pricing strategy is, we use it for Louis Vuitton or things like that. So premium pricing might look like skim pricing, but skim pricing is meant to be updated and temporary, and the kind of customers that it seeks are called early adopters. Those are people who are seeking the new. So the customers that would pay skim pricing are not the same as people who would pay premium pricing. The price might look the same. Premium pricing is an expensive price. You're paying for the brand image most of the time. For example, the bag that, the bags that are made by Louis Vuitton are not significantly more expensive to produce than any other bag. The materials may be slightly better quality, but the amount of material is not that much. So it's not really, unless it's got some diamonds or fur or something part of it, then it's just a bag. But because it has that logo on it, then people are willing to pay a premium price, a higher price. And the reason why they do that is because they want to stand out as someone who's rich and can afford status symbols like Gucci or Louis Vuitton bags. So that's the whole point of the bag, is to status. So that's different. Early adopters can pay skim pricing, which is high, but status-oriented people who want to pay for what they perceive as a higher quality, or luxury brands would pay a premium price. This is important for the company. Maybe it's possible that one of your companies could use premium pricing. They want to establish themselves in the market as a high luxury position product. That's possible. But you have to be careful, right? For example, I'll give an example as Mercedes-Benz. When people buy a Mercedes, a lot of status-seeking drivers are buying Mercedes-Benz. They want to drive around and be seen with that logo on their car, and they want to impress their fellow drivers, and they want to be seen as some kind of, people who can afford that kind of car. So let's say Mercedes wants to increase their market. That's a niche, right? A premium is going to be a niche. Let's say Mercedes is like, wow, we really could be selling more cars. So they make a Kia Morning style car, like a Kia Morning, a little Kia Morning, and they put a Mercedes logo on it, and they offer it as a different product line, right? It's a different product line. It still has the Mercedes logo, and they're going to go for a different target market. People who are on a budget, they just want to drive around town. Now, the first group of people who already bought the expensive Mercedes are going to be very disappointed now that every person can afford to have that logo on their car. They don't really care about the car, it doesn't matter, but it's like, no, I want to be exclusive. How can I drive around with all these little Mercedes? I just look like I'm part of the Mercedes group. So basically, as we know from Skoda, that there's different versions, and Skoda was a premium brand at first, and then they went down to a budget kind of discount brand, and then they came back as kind of a value for money brand after some time. So I would say their pricing now for Skoda is, they want to compete with the mid-level cars, but they want to feel, or slightly lower than mid-level cars, but they want to offer a mid-level quality. So, so premium or prestige product is only for niche markets, and it's for high-end or expensive items. So the brand image of Mercedes would suffer. They would hurt their brand image by selling a cheaper version. So they have to keep all of their cars at a very high price. Okay, there's two more. It says, don't ask me why the book is organized like this. Other common pricing strategies. Price leadership. If you have market power, if you are the leader of the market and you have a huge market share, then your pricing strategy is going to affect other companies and what they do. So if you decide to make a price war and lower your price, you're going to start to kill your competition, and your competition is going to have to match your price. That happens with airlines. Vietjet definitely, so you have like Vietnam Airlines and Vietjet. Vietjet is far cheaper. It's more of a budget airline. It's a discounted airline. It doesn't have any extra, bells and whistles. You have to pay for everything, extra baggage, food on the plane, whatever. So they survive because everyone can fly. Now everyone can fly. That's the slogan. So Vietnam Airlines, they can't you know, compete with that price, so they have to keep their premium status. They try to say, okay, well, you could take that cheap airline, or you could have like a real airline with real service and food, and the luggage is included in the price, and we're, you know, we're high end. If you want to travel with the best, then you'll choose Vietnam Airlines. So they don't want to lower their price to compete with Vietjet too much, because then they'll be seen as just another budget airline. So they have to find a way to differentiate themselves and create a separate niche. So we have the premium niche, we're the best in Vietnam, and then we have that, well, this is for cheap people who just want to pay the lowest price, and those are two different niches. Price leadership, if there were, in some cases though, one airline can really, you know, if their quality is pretty good, they can lower fares and make it very hard for all the other companies to compete with them. So everyone will have to bring their prices down, and maybe at one point there was only one flight, one carrier that would go to Bangkok, and you'd have to pay $200 each way, which makes it quite expensive. And after some new competitors come in, they bring the price down. So that's price competition. But if you have a real market share situation, I'll try to give an example. Maybe like even something like soy sauce, right? If there's like one market leader of soy sauce that most families use, and they lower their price, then every other brand is going to have to kind of follow it. So price leadership is usually happening in a mass market situation. Price leadership, this is a general strategy which may be chosen by the business. You can't choose it unless you're the leader. As part of its strategic plan, the business wants to be seen as the first to introduce any price change and to set the precedent in pricing for other businesses. But usually, you cannot choose it. Usually only a large business, which is the market leader with the greatest market segment, in other words, the greatest market share, can set prices for the rest of the industry. The business that has such a huge, large market share has the power to set prices. Exactly. It's not even a choice. It's just what the market leader does. They set the price for the market. All right, we have one more today, a quick one. I need to get this one in your head. Like you have to focus for a second here. It's called loss leader pricing. So we know all these. So we're up to that. Loss leader pricing. Loss leader pricing is a retail strategy. It's not a product pricing strategy. It's only for retail shops. So actually you won't use it. You will not use a loss leader strategy. A loss leader strategy is one where a shop, a retail shop, will offer one of the things in the shop at a loss, cheaper than cost. The goal, and they know this, is to get you into the store. Because they know that once you're inside the store, the average person spends this much money. So they're having trouble getting people into the store. So once you get to the store, so let's say back in the old days, when they have CDs, they will sell the new Taylor Swift CD for, it's normally, the CD is like $15. They'll sell it for $9.99, psychological pricing. They'll sell it for $9.99, a brand new Taylor Swift album. Okay, people rush in there, the company doesn't make any money off of that. They're not trying to make money off of that, but they know that when people come to the CD shop, they usually buy at least 5 CDs. So that's one they don't make a profit from, but they're counting on the profit from the other 4 CDs to help their business sales. So their goal is just to get you there. They're selling you something that they're actually losing money on, but the point is to get you to buy something else so they can get profit afterwards. So I hope that makes sense. It's a retail strategy, does not work for any products or services. So I'll read it real quick. This strategy requires the business to sell a product or service for below its cost price. A loss is made on that product. However, by drawing customers into the shop, only shops, this is only retail, they will spend money on other items and a profit can be made on them. So that's it. So be careful. Don't, if you get a question about loss leader pricing, make sure you don't talk about it as a product strategy or a service strategy. It's a strategy just for retail businesses that have many products to sell. Okay, that's it about pricing for today. Pricing.